surname ఉన్న text ఏ ఉంటుంది. ఇంకేం వెంటనే సర్టిఫికేట్ చెప్పండి ఒకసారి నేమ్ కాకుండా మొబైల్ నెంబర్కి టైప్ వచ్చేసి ఏముంటుందంటే నెంబర్ సేమ్ మీరేం కావాలంటే వెంటనే మొబైల్ నెంబర్ టైప్ చేయండి. Mobile number and
can we start, Sandeepji?
Text. You have to replace text with mobile.
Yeah, we can start.
Okay then.
Mobile number. Email.
Good afternoon, all of you. As usual and scheduled, we have a session on IEDP session 5 today. And before starting the session, let me give a brief about our program and certain inputs which is really required for us to be an entrepreneur. So, my dear students, once you can go through all the sessions which we have already conducted through IEMP and EDP. Along with that, also you can get motivated with the certain examples where you got access from source in YouTube or any books or any source where you can use. Today we have a fifth session. Along with that also we are introducing a template which you can pitch a deck. You have to formulate your idea in a beautiful way. How do you present and how do you get access with investors and network and all. And this is the best and golden opportunity for you to use this template as well as you get mentored by us. If you have any doubt regarding your idea or pitching or presentation about your vision, mission, or getting connected with the market, and still you have any doubt in your mind, you can respond in the WhatsApp group as well as you can call us directly any time of cost as you wish. Whenever you got a time, you can get connected with us. And for the Telugu students, my dear students, మీకోసం మేము ఒక పిచ్ డెక్ అని ఒక టెంప్లెట్ తయారు చేసాము. మీ ఐడియాని ఆ టెంప్లెట్లో చెప్పినట్టుగా స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్ దాంట్లో మీరు ఫిల్ చేసినట్టయితే మేము మీకు యాక్సెస్ని ఇవ్వగలుగుతాము. దానికి సంబంధించి మెంటర్షిప్, దానికి సంబంధించి ఏమన్నా డౌట్ ఉన్నా కూడా వీఆర్ ఆల్వేస్ కీన్ టచ్ విత్ యూ టు సపోర్ట్ ఎనీ టైమ్ ఆఫ్ కాస్ట్ అనమాట. నువ్వు ఎప్పుడైనా నీకు టైం దొరికినప్పుడు మాకు కాల్ చేసి మెంటర్షిప్ తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు సందీప్ సార్ మీకు ఫిఫ్త్ సెషన్లో కొన్ని టిప్స్ చెప్తారు, అట్లానే అసైన్మెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇవన్నీ మీకు జస్ట్ ఐడియా కోసమే అంతే. అసైన్మెంట్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ గెటింగ్ ఎనీ మార్క్స్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ద సర్వీసెస్ డెలివర్డ్ బై i4TS. జస్ట్ ఈజ్ అన్ ఇన్పుట్ టు యూ టు బి ఏ ఎంటర్‌ప్రెన్యూర్. దానికోసం మేమంతా కూడా మీకు ఒక సెటప్ అండ్ ఇకో సిస్టమ్ డిజైన్ చేస్తున్నాము. మీకు టీ హబ్కి, వి హబ్కి, TSICకి, తర్వాత రేచ్, టీవర్క్స్, NIT వరంగల్, IIIT, IIT, క్యాంపస్ ఫండ్, గేమ్, ISB, ఈ ఇకో సిస్టమ్ పార్ట్నర్స్ అందరితోనూ మీకు మేము ఈ మెంటర్షిప్ కానీ లేకుంటే ఇకో సిస్టమ్ పార్ట్నర్ సపోర్ట్ కానీ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ కానీ దేనికైనా కూడా దీనికి సపోర్ట్ దొరికే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. So it is requested to Sandeep sir, you can go ahead with the session. You can take us in a presenter in the loop and you can start the session. End of the session, again, I will be back with pitch deck and everything. And can you continue the pitch deck also, Sandeep ji?
Yeah, I can continue with that. So we both can actually do that probably in that case.
Excellent. I will be in the session and I can upload the PPT and then I will help you regarding that. Thank you, Ji. You can go ahead now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Balu, for the introduction and briefing about the whole thing. Yeah. So hello everyone. I hope you have enjoyed Diwali festival to maximum extent and you are still fresh with a lot of energy. Yeah. So today we are going to talk about an important aspect. We are also going to do a small exercise also, so that usually the way we do we have done in the previous sessions also, and you will be in a better position to understand the whole concept. So today basically we're going to touch upon the aspect called research and what is basically research. We are going to repeat that. We have also done that in IMPS session. And what are the different kind of research which are there and how does research actually applies to you. So yeah. So this is the EDP timeline. We are almost coming very close to the closure of the sessions, and in a way we are going to come to a session where we are going to develop our business plan. All these sessions are recorded also. You can always go back and have a look at these sessions again. We have had our first session on problem focus. This also how an innovation is built upon, and how we have also done in self-assessment that how you can be problem focused and how you can be innovative. Also, we have done the second session on stakeholder engagement and market plan, and we have had very interesting exercises also in that so that you can develop your own market plan. The third session was on decoding consumer behavior and also identifying what kind of consumer uh, are there, what are the types of consumer are there, which are the factors which actually affect the consumer behavior. We have also done an exercise in that to understand our consumer behavior. The fourth session recently we had on how we can actually develop the product value and also understanding the various consumer persona, what are their needs and what are the categories which can lead to different kind of customers, and what are different social, cultural, psychological factors in that. Hope you have done all this assignments. If you have not done that, I'm requesting you again to please go back and do that. That is really going to help you immensely in the whole session. While we are going to present you pitch deck also, you will get to an idea also that how all these sessions are actually culminating into a form of a business model canvas. So we are going to talk about the session number 5, in which we are going to talk about research, the data collection methodology, data collection types, and a lot of other aspects. We have our Muscat Nakshi. She's talking about like what is going to be done today. So Balasar is saying that we are going to talk about research today, and he's very excited for that. So basically, research is thing which actually helps you in refining your idea, and there are different kind of research put up for simplicity and mostly applicable to any startup idea are secondary, primary, and observation visit. So the secondary research, we'll talk in detail. We'll talk in detail about primary research and observation visits also. Before we get into that, I think it will be good if we can have a video. Balu, if we can run the video, the small video, which can help them to understand what role research has actually played in a venture called Miticool. And I think that venture has actually brought upon a lot of different kind of aspects, which has helped the whole community which was into ceramic terracotta building. And it has also helped not only the community, also it has helped the environment and a lot of other aspects also. That has come because of a lot of research. The founder is actually speaking about that in detail in the video. There are a lot of other links also you will find about Miticool, and you can research on your own also. But this video will actually help you to understand what are the nitty-gritties which are there in the research. Yeah.
मैं मोरबी डिस्ट्रिक्ट के एक नीची मंडल गांव से बड़ा हुआ हूं। मेरा पिताजी, मेरा दादा गधे के ऊपर मिट्टी लेके और जो पुराने वाले चक्रम थी उसमें काम करते थे। हमने वही टेक्निक को नया आइडिया दिया और वही परंपरा को हमने लुप्त नहीं होने दिया। मेरा नाम मनसुख प्रजापति है, मैं कुम्हार हूँ। मेरा काम है मिट्टी का बर्तन बनाने का। हमने कुम्हार का काम 1988 से स्टार्ट किया था। तब हमारे पास कुछ नहीं था। गुजरात में भूकंप आया तो हम जो मटका बनाया था ये टूट गया। तो गरीबों का एक स्वप्न पूरा करने के लिए मैंने एक मिट्टी का फ्रिज बनाया, जिसका नाम रखा हमने मिट्टीकूल। मिट्टीकूल बिना बिजली का चलने वाला मिट्टी का फ्रिज है। ये मिट्टी के अंदर 20% कोयले का और वुडन पाउडर डाला जाता है, क्योंकि ये मिट्टी में पोरोसिटी चाहिए। एक फ्रिज बनने में 15 दिन लगते हैं। सिर्फ ऊपर के हिस्से में हम पानी भरते हैं, वो पानी पीने के लायक ठंडा हो जाते हैं। इसमें पोरोसिटी के माध्यम से पानी धीरे धीरे अंदर की दीवार से नीचे आता है। जब कुदरती हवा लगती है तब अंदर का टेम्परेचर कूल हो जाता है और इसके अंदर रखा हुआ सब्जियां और फ्रूट 5 दिन तक फ्रेश रहते हैं। आज हमने 2022 में मिट्टी कूल फ्रिज के साथ साथ कम से कम 200 प्रोडक्ट हमने बनाई है, जैसे कि मिट्टी की बोतल, कुकर, हांडी। पहले हम मिट्टी लाते हैं, उसको हम बॉयल मिल या ब्लेंडर में पानी करते हैं। जो लिक्विड हुआ मिट्टी का, उसको एक डाई में या मोल्ड में डालते हैं। इसके बाद हम चाक के ऊपर इसको फिनिशिंग करते हैं। बाद में धूप में सुखा के हम किलन में 1000 डिग्री के आसपास पकाते हैं। वो भी इको फ्रेंडली है, कभी भी टूट जाते हैं तो मिट्टी के साथ मिट्टी हो जाते हैं। जब हमने फ्रिज बनाने का स्टार्ट किया तब मेरा 19 लाख का कर्ज भी हो गया था और मकान को भी हमने बेचना पड़ा। मेरे 2 बेटे हैं, वो शामिल हो गए हैं। मेरे बेटे का मुझे सहयोग मिला है। हम कुम्हार के लिए मिट्टी एक अपना जो दिल का टुकड़ा होता है, उसी तरह से मैं मिट्टी के साथ जुड़ा हुआ हूँ।
Thank you so much, Balu, for running this.
Yes, Sandeep. Once again, you can take as a presenter.
Yeah. I have taken that. Sir, I have taken this example for 3-4 reasons. So one of the major reason was that while that person was there, and as he said in the video, at least the business was actually started by his father, and he comes traditionally from a community which is into making these kind of ceramic pots. Also, this was started in 19, and it was started at a very humble scale, where a charkha was there, and then with that they were able to make some ceramic pots and other things. So their business was into a difficulty, and then with earthquake in between, they had a lot of other difficulties also. And slowly he came to realize that both can be mixed. The modern part can be mixed, and the cultural part, the traditional part, can also be mixed, and they both can make a different and cool product out of it. So that is how Mitti Cool actually came into place, and a lot of work has been done. He was also sharing that how he had a lot of debt, and because of that, but he continued, and then now everything is a history. So a lot of discussion, a lot of research, and a lot of work has gone through in anything. So if you go through any case study, research has played a very important role, and just being open to the feedback, and just being open to things which can enhance your product, and which can allow people to share their responses about the whole product will always help you. But this is not easy. Sometimes you become very much connected to your product, that if somebody criticizes or somebody says something about it, you are not able to take it. And that has happened to me also in many cases, while I have actually introduced a lot of products, and slowly I have learned to deal with it. And but it's not difficult, it's not easy, but if you are able to do it, it really helps you. So there are 3 ways through which you can actually allow people and other people, other stakeholders, to come and contribute into your whole initiative. You can do secondary research, you can do primary research, and you can do observation visits. There are a lot of other things also which you can do, but I am majorly going to talk about all these 3. So basically, when we talk about secondary research, that is a first-hand thing which anyone can do, and which usually a lot of people do. So if you have any idea in your mind, you go and Google about it. If you don't have the access to Google, you talk to people about it. In that case, that becomes a primary research. So whenever the first-hand account is not there, you are actually getting a reference and source from someone else, then that becomes the secondary research. But when somebody is there with you and then you are able to talk to them in person, that becomes the primary research. So I'm just taking an example. For example, if I have to do research for my solar drying ka business, where we are actually, what we are doing is we sun dry a lot of things which otherwise go wasted. So for example, we have basil leaves, tulsi leaves, and that we have in excess. So, and the produce is also not that great that we can directly sell it, and there is no ready-made market for that. So what we do is we actually, what we do in that case is we actually sun dry them and make different component out of it. And in that case, if I do a research that what is the potential market of the basil leaves, that will go into secondary research. But if I do and I Google about it, and if I read a lot of reports and a lot of other things which are already available, that become a secondary research. But if I go and talk to people directly, that see, am I going to sun dry the basil leaves? What will be the usage for that? Whether you're going to purchase that or not. So all that will become a primary research, because directly you're speaking to people and taking an idea about it. And if I go to the market, if I go to the people and then simply I just observe things, what is happening. So for example, if I go to a tea shop and I see like whether he's or she is using the basil leaves are also in tea or a lot of other products. So that becomes an observation visit. So where you're not speaking to people, but you're just going around and seeing things. So that become an observation visit. So these are the three things which you can use in any kind of venture actually. If you have not done that yet, this is again, we have always touched upon in lot of sessions, and we have done a separate session also in that please, that was also emphasized in a lot of previous sessions also, that you talk to people about your values, you talk to customers about their feedback on your product, or what are the existing things they're using. We also touched upon on the customer reviews also, and we also talked upon the market plan. So please go ahead and then do a lot of research for you. And there are ready-made templates which are already available in different sessions. You can just simply utilize them. So also, I think there can be a separate categorization also. When we talk about types of research, we can categorize them also into two ways. So first categorization was whether you are going to speak to the person directly or you are going to take data secondary or not. The other ways can be that who is actually conducting the whole research. So if you are the person going directly and speaking to the person directly, that becomes a primary research. But if you are referring to document, it becomes a secondary research. Also, you can categorize them into types of data. So there can be a quantitative data and qualitative data. So if I don't have any objective question, so for example, the basil leaves wala example, if I go and speak to people whether you use basil leaves or not, the answer can be yes or no. So then in that case, it becomes a quantitative data, because yes and no is there. There is an option to it. And I can collate and I can say directly that these many people participate and these many people said that whether they are using it or not using it. The second can be the qualitative data, where I say that what are the usage of basil leaves you have. So I might categorize them into different options also. In that case, it becomes a quantitative data. But if I leave it open-ended, and if I ask people to elaborate as much as possible, it becomes a qualitative data. Generally, mix of both is required. And it is always good to have a mix of both. You should have quantitative data also and qualitative data also. But also it depends upon your preference and how you want to deal with the whole data wala element. So you can use both also. Yeah. So how you can do secondary research for your idea? So what you can do is a very simple format we have created, and you can utilize this simple format only. So what you can do is you can type your idea, and So for example, if you're making handmade diaries, if you're making handmade food, if you are making handmade paper, or if you are making, for example, the starch, or if you're making any product which is locally grown, and you're making something else out of it, so you can just simply write down. So for example, one of my friend is actually making rice husk cake, different cutlery he's making. So what he can do is he can simply Google search that product made out of rice husk on Google. So he will get a link of lot of products which are there, and you can click on those links and you can get an idea that who are the service providers and who are people who are there. There are different websites also which has the accumulation of data and source. For example, India Mart is there, where it's a very good website which I also use, where there are a lot of buyers, wholesalers, and retailers. They all are available in India Mart, and then you can actually uh, utilize their data, and you can speak to them also directly. So they have also put up on rate also. So when you are not speaking to anyone, you simply Google searching about things, and you're getting reading reports and other things, it becomes a secondary data. So and also what you can do is you can start comparing it. And if you're comparing it, I think three things which you can keep an eye: what are the features, what are the advantage, and what are the benefits for anything. And then that will give an idea for you that how your product is similar or different in that case. So that is going to really help you. Yeah. So this is how you can do a very simple secondary research. Just Google down your idea and the similar kind of product and service which is there, and then you can get a link and write down the product, the product which is there, or the service which is there similar to you. You can write down simple list down feature, advantage, and benefit out of it. So what are the survey types you can do? You can do online surveys, you can do paper surveys, you can do telephonic survey, you can do one-to-one survey. There are a lot of other surveys also, like ethnographic studies and a lot of other things, but we will not get into. So online surveys are the most easiest survey, but it is always good to have some paper survey or one-to-one face-to-face surveys also, because online surveys might not give you a clear picture because you're not speaking to the person directly and you are not getting the observation also out of that. So I think it is good to have a mix of all those things, and you can choose whatever you want to have. Google Form is definitely one of the easiest thing which is there and which you can use. Also within that survey, you can have data types, which is quantitative and qualitative. You can have both, or for your convenience, you can have quantitative only. Generally, in online surveys, qualitative data are rarely taken because people don't give time to that. If you know the audience and you can request the audience dedicatedly, so then it will have it can have qualitative. Otherwise, the getting responses is a little tough, but you can always try. Telephone is also a very good way. So I do a lot of impact assessment, a lot of telephonic survey we do. So we mix both. So for example, we were doing a small project. There was an initiative which was actually Rahi was the project name, and what they were doing is they were doing the eye testing for the different people, and then they were getting funds from the different CSRs, and they were simply eye testing the the various truck drivers, and they were finding out whether they are in need of any kind of eye support or not. And what interesting methodology they had is that, so we did an impact assessment for that, and within that telephonic survey we were able to know that they had a lot of impact, because what best thing that they were doing is, for example, if they are testing any truck driver here, and if the test comes out and if it says that the person needs to have an spectacle out of it and certain number is given to, so the person is giving an information that if you are leading to certain area, so that area has the another camp. So they used to make camps parallelly into other areas also, so that by the time the next day the driver is there in that camp, the information is already gone and the spectacles are already there. The person can go and can have those specs ready. So that way it has a lot of impact. So that we were able to know with the telephonic survey, but we went on field also. Similar way you can also do. You can speak to people, you can talk to people directly, and you can do telephonic surveys like that. So how to design a survey? This might look very complex to you. Basically, there are 10 steps which are there, and it actually talks about. So the first step is, of course, when you are going to brainstorm the whole thing. So the idea might be with you, but what you need to do is you need to speak to a lot of people. You need to brainstorm that what can be the finalized idea, what can be the thing which you can actually you can finalize, and then what you can do is then after that you can put questions which are necessary to you or not. So you might like to have a lot of questions, but those questions should have relevant to your whole thing when you're putting up survey. And otherwise you will end up having a lot of data and which might not be utilized, and the other person will also will get confused in that case. Um, Also, what you need to do with that is you have to be very cautious that it has to be very simple and to the point. Uh, Also, one question at a time. So it's like you have to be very precise in that case. So there are a lot of to do when you talk. So I think this is something which you will learn by practice only when you are going to do the data collection, and then you will come to know that whether people are interested in that or not. You can do a small pilot also before you are actually rolling out the whole data. I think it is always good to cross check. What you can do is you can just simply send it to 2 3 friends of yours, and you can ask them whether if they are finding it difficult, it is clear to them or not, if you're doing online wala thing. In case of one-to-one survey also, paper survey also, in that case also you should also do small pilot, and that can actually help you. So similarly, what you can do is, and then after that you can have what kind of questions which can be put, like open-ended questions, close-ended questions, all that you can do. And once you have the place, you can really analyze them and categorize them into different thing, and then you can create a report after it, and then you can utilize it. So this might look simple, although it is simple, but it might end up having complexities also. But it's a wonderful and enriching exercise when you are actually doing that, because you have gotten first-hand experience of a lot of things when you start doing that. So if you have not done that, I'm requesting you again and again, please make sure that you're doing it. And there are a lot of opportunities you have got in the whole sessions that you can do it as a part of your assignment. So as we said that in the previous slides also, the data types can be quantitative, qualitative, primary, and secondary data, like that. So basically, there are different tools which you can use, and you can simply utilize like the published report which are there. You can do interviews. Telephone can be a very good thing. Face-to-face observation, visits, documents, records, and experience. Experiments can you can also do experiment for mean to say that, for example, if you are, so for example, we have created a lot of toys for children. So what we did in with that is that we started giving the toys to the children themselves, and then we started observing whether they are using it or not. If they're using it, how the all the response is not, this response is there. So for example, right now I have a small prototype with me. So this is a small board game. So it's a very traditional Indian cover board game. So this is a very first-hand copy, so which was not approved because the stitch was not proper. The color was making it confused. So we wanted to make it colored, but a lot of people shared that the color is okay, but the problem with the color is that it is not. It is making it very complex. So that only we came to know when we did small exercises with a lot of people, and we did small experiment. We just gave it to people and then asked them whether it is easy for them to use it or not, like that. So there can be different type of questions also. There can be open-ended question, there can be multiple choice question, ordinal scale questions, interval scale, very interestingly ratio scale questions also. So for example, this might be your final product, for example. So in that case, you can ask them just to rate it also, whether they are liking it or not, whether what are the probability where they are going to use it or not. So that becomes also by simply yes, no, you will have a middle type of responses, a mean, median, kind of responses where you can actually have a mix of both. So you can actually play with a lot of questions and responses also in that case. That actually helps you. Also, when you go to Google Form, you will find out that there is a description also. A lot of people don't use it. but to each question you can actually describe it, why and what are the things which you can think upon while you are actually answering that. So that actually makes the whole thing very easy. Also, with each question you can actually put photographs also. So with the type of question, you can actually uh, put photographs, and then you can ask questions also. A lot of people have started doing that also. In career assessment, it is done. So what they do is so there is a pictorial career exploration test. In that, what happens is that they give 15 to 16 categories of different careers, and then they ask the people, the students, that which kind of career they are seeing in that picture, and other things, and based upon that they do the rating, and then that is how they are able to explore the career. So you can play around the photos also a lot. So for example, if you are asking them whether you will like my product or not, so if you have the product ready also, so what you can do, you can just give the photographs also, how you are liking the product or not, and all that. So you can play around with the questions also, make it open ended, and you can play around into the varieties of questions also in that case. Also, a lot of people have also started using audios also. It becomes very easy, and a lot of people now, with the description, they give an audio link also. You can listen to it also. So this is a kind of sampling which is done. So you will see that randomly, if an person is being chosen, it becomes a random sampling. But if a person is being chosen by the different categories, that 2 female, 1 male, and like that and all that, it becomes a cluster sampling. Also, there are a lot of other kind of sampling also. So for example, if you are being very fixed that this is the area, this is the particular gender and all that, in the age group you are going through, then it becomes a very systematic sampling. Then there are group sampling and other ways also. So before you get into that, I think it's also a good idea to get into a sampling mode also. So for example, if you want to target youth, so in that case, the youth, you might get into college directly, and you can have a good access to them. And because college has people from different parts of the city or the village, so you can actually utilize that as a hub. So once you do the sampling, you have the picture of sampling in place. You can actually start thinking about also which can be the location where you can actually get into the data collection mode. So this is how you can actually look for sampling also. There are a lot of other sampling methods also. So simple random sampling is also there. So whether you are not bothered about who is going to respond, you are just sending it to a lot of people, and then people are responding to it like that. So yeah. Then there are purposive and lot of other samplings also, whether you have specifically purposely chosen that this is the person who have done, should be there in the sampling and all. So now I wanted to rewind this whole thing before we conclude this session. I think it will be good to, so this is also an assignment for you. So we have done a lot of surveys for ourselves. We have done self-assessment and surveys also. So and what kind of data collection, what was the data collection objective you have to write, and what are the data collection types which was there, and what are the data types which was there, and what was the sample type, and what was the types of data collected. So you can write down for the own exercises and assignment you have done. So that is really going to help you to understand the whole research thing better. So identification of problem focus. This was a self-assessment exercise which was done. So you have to find out whether what was the data collection objective, what was the data collection types, whether it was quantitative or qualitative, what was the data type. So whether the data was on the scale data, it was simply objective data, what kind of data, what was the sampling which was in it, was a random sampling or it was a focus sampling or like that. So also we have done a self-assessment for being innovation focused. We have done a market survey, we have done a value identification, we have done a identification of buyer persona, and we have done a identification of buyer needs wala document also. So all this you have to go through again, and you have to find out what kind of data was being used and what kind of sampling methodology which was being done, and all those factors you have to write down, so that you will get an idea about what is actually basically a research and how it is actually helpful. So yeah. So this is what we have done. I think we are missing out on one, which we have also done it for customer also. The customer survey needs basically. So basically it was a buyer need actually. So so all this has been done, and you can analyze all them, and then you can understand what kind of research we have done, and what kind of tools, what kind of sample methodology, and a lot of things we have done. This you have to be filling by, this has to be with the participants, and we will send you the link also on the WhatsApp, and this can help you. For the people who are watching it for the first time, go back to the sessions from first to fourth. You will get an idea that in each session, some of the other self-assessment exercises or the surveys. I requested people to do that, and with that you will get an idea about that. Yeah. So Valu, now we can use the pitch desk wala thing, and if there are any questions in the chat box, we can take up those. Yeah. So now we have Meenakshi with us. So Meenakshi is saying that I've learned about the survey. She is also excited about the assignment because she has to revisit the whole thing and then look it from the lens of the how research is being done and what are the aspects which are being used by us. Next, we are actually going to use the data analysis all apart. If you have the data in hand, how you can actually analyze it and use it for your own purpose. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the flowchart for the mind map software, which how you can utilize it, and yeah. So please use that. There is
Sandeep, can I upload the pitch deck PPT?
Yeah. Submit your idea link is also there. Please utilize that also.
Yes, Sandeep ji, it is uploaded.
Yeah, thank you, Palu. So I think this is going to be very exciting for you. Now we have a guide book for you, which can actually help you to how you can make yourself pitch ready. Balu, if there are any question in the chat box, we can take up those. Please remind me for those questions if there are any.
No, Sandeep ji. No questions.
Yeah. So the first thing which you have to do here is that you have to write down your name and idea, and it should also be very clear, and you should also talk about like what actually your social enterprise is doing, and also what you can do is you can actually utilize your tagline also. A contact information in the first slide will help. The name, about the idea, a very small tagline. So for example, there can be a small example. For example, if I'm making the board games for children, so it's like fun based board games for children. So it actually talks about the idea, but if I add upon fun based physical board games for children. So it actually talks about that there are no online. We are talking about the physical. So we can also refine it further that fun-based traditional Indian physical board games. So that way actually it helps you for all age group if I further add it. So in that case, if I am further refining that, fun is traditional Indian physical board games for all age group. So it is much more refined now. So that way actually you can utilize it. You can put the name of it. So if I put a name of it, is that like Mazedar or Kalakar or Vikal, like that. So I can name it also. So the name has to be there, about has to be there, and also you need to put up your contact information also there. So it has to be crisp and it has to be exciting also. Now this is very interesting. You have to put your vision slide. So for example, whatever you're targeting, how it is going to reflect back after years, or what is the major aim you're actually going to resolve with that. So that will be your vision. So for example, if I say with the fun-based board games, we are actually bringing families together. So that can be our vision. That these board games actually helps people to connect back or bringing back to the traditional roots, like that. So that can be, or if you are adding the learning wala part, so you can have the learning wala part. So different people will have different connotation to different kind of product or services. So you have to put that. What is the major vision you're seeing? If once people start using it, what is going to happen to their life? That is basically the vision. This might happen in front of you. This might not happen. So you have to be very ambitious when you are putting a vision, and you should not put any kind of filter to it. You should be actually completely okay about thinking very loud about it. What is going to happen with the vision, like that. So for example, if you sow a seed, small seed of a tree, what it is going to happen after 20 years or 30 years? So people will be sitting below the tree. People will be enjoying the fruits of it and all that. You might not be there enjoying the fruit, but a lot of other people will be there. So that way you have to put up your vision. So the vision has to be free from any kind of filter. You have to be there can be very simple vision also. For example, one of the best producer in the whole world. So this can be a vision also for traditional board games. So this can be a simple vision also. Not necessarily the need and other aspects has to be there. Whatever ambition you have, you can just put that also. The vision can be making a 1 crore company by 2025 or something like that. So you can put that also in place. Whatever vision you have, but don't put any filter to it. The third slide would be the problem slide. What are the problem you're trying to solve through to the local enterprise? That is the first thing you have to put through. You can use photograph also in that. You can demonstrate that in with the problem which is you are actually focusing upon, and you have also should actually support with the data. So some data you can bring in from the secondary data also, but some data you can actually do it from your own experience and from talking to people, and this can be the first hand experience also which you can utilize. So you can make a mix of it. So I'm repeating, the first is name and idea, where you're actually going to talk about the tagline and other aspects of it, and you are actually describing a bit about the idea also, and you are also putting up your name and information also. The second is about the vision, where you are actually thinking very loud what is going to happen and what you're going to do with your venture, and what is going to happen with the venture in coming years. So that will be your vision. Don't put any filter to it. The third thing is you're talking about the problem, and what are the problem you have to focus, and what are the problem you are actually targeting. You have to support it with some kind of data. The data can be the secondary data and primary data. I will request that you should use both, because if you have the primary data in place, it will actually show that you have done some work for your venture, and that will also give you more insight also. So if you have spoken to 10 people also, you can just put that data also in place. So this is the sample basically. So the sample says that there are currently 65 million people living in urban slums in India, and the number is rapidly growing. Condition in these slums are often unfit for people to live in. Universally accepted, basic needs are simply missing. The problem is a lack of access to basic product and service for poor families in India's urban slums. So that is the problem, and hence there are rational beside it. In the on the right side, you're seeing the access to service is not there. The electricity and a lot of other things which are basic amenities which are not there, even the water and other things. For families are also not educated about the basic elements, basic alternatives which are there, and they don't have any access to services and savings also, which can actually help them to better future. So this can be the problem here. That is not shown. So if you're talking about a specific slum, you can utilize the example of that slum. You can talk in terms of number also. So for example, access to service. For example, X kind of slum which is there in, for example, Ahmedabad city, and then there are 1,000 families there, and out of that only 500 families are having access to electricity. So you can put that into a data. Once you start putting that data in place, I think that actually enhances the whole thing, and actually it makes the thing very objective, very clear to the person also. So you use data in the data could have been used here, but since this was an example, that might not be possible. But please use the data also in place. If the primary data is not available, Google search, go to the apartment and talk about that. Then you have to talk about the solution. See, we are not directly about the solution here. We have talked about the name, the idea, venture, and all that. Second, we have talked about the vision. The third, we are talking about the problem, and then we are talking about the solution. So we are emphasizing a lot on the background which has happened. That's how the solution is going to get connected. So then you have to briefly describe about how your social enterprise is solving the problem, and whether you're developing a new technology or a new approach, or you are actually collaborating with any other person. You are actually mixing the whole thing with traditional, like we have seen about the mitti cool, that the traditional practices being mixed with the element of the latest technology, like that. So you can basically utilize that as a the whole solution, and then you can actually talk about it. Yeah, and then there is already a background to it. You can relate it with that. You can utilize the data and the problem wala part with the solution. So for example, you are actually making solar electricity, solar energy accessible to a lot of people. So you can utilize it. Out of the 800 people in the slum, out of 1,000 who are not having the electricity, 400 people will get the slum people will get the electricity, like that. So that's how the solution will also get connected to the problem. So you can utilize that data also, which you are actually showing in that. This is a sample. The Robin Hood Army is a zero funds organization that works to get surplus food from restaurants and communicate to the less fortunate. So basically what they have done is they have developed an app where people actually tells them in advance that we have this much of food left with us, and if you can actually take it for the needy people and all that. So this is called as Robin Hood Army, and so they're talking about the solution here, and you can edit with the data again, like that. Yeah. You can talk about the team here also. What are the team? Who are the advisors who are there? I think it can also share about their skills and experience also, and whatever skills or experience they are carrying. They might have participated in any school competition, something like that. That you should also put. What is making them unique and what skills they are bringing in. So like they are very analytical about things. They're very outspoken and all that. So all that is actually going to help in that. Then at the end of it, you can put the social enterprise's name and logo to it. Yeah. Balu, if I'm missing out on anything, I think we can actually bring in and talk about things here. Yeah.
Nothing else. Perfectly delivered about pitch deck and everything. And now it's part for the students, and it is requested to you all just prepare your pitch deck like this, and then be prepared whenever we ask you. You must be able to given a presentation about it very soon, because as we displayed in the previous slide, there are the certain segments. First one is IEMP, second one is EDP. Ideathon is already we have done, and then we are going to for EDP sessions. The next one is incubation. So you must be ready with your pitch deck so that we will get connect you with mentors and incubation center. That's how all these things. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts or any support, you can get connected with us, which we have shared the contact details, email ID and all. Thanks for the day. Bye-bye.